Welcome back, everybody. Today I am back in my brand new 2025 Ecoboost Premium Mustang, and as you guys can see, the rain is coming down pretty good right now. And to be quite honest with y'all, before I started filming, it was raining actually a lot more heavy than it even is right now. Today I want to take you guys in a little bit of a spin, go on the highway, give this thing a little bit of gas, and show you how it performs in rainy and wet conditions daily driving it. One of my biggest concerns when I was looking at buying one of these cars brand new was I saw all of the horror stories about people getting in really dangerous accidents, especially when the roads are wet and slick like they are right now, specifically in Mustangs. And what I'm going to do is not do anything crazy. I'm not going to be breaking any laws, not going to be speeding today, and I'm going to be pretty safe, but I am going to give it a little bit of gas on the highway just to get up to speed for you guys. And what I'm not going to do is take this thing out of traction control. I'm definitely going to leave the traction control on because it's really dangerous if you don't have that feature on, especially when it's raining and the roads are really wet like this. My car is also going to be in the slippery driving mode, specifically made for wet and rainy conditions like this, and I'm not going to be changing it out of that mode. I'm not even going to risk putting it in normal mode, and I'm definitely not going to put it in sport mode because sport mode will just make it even more dangerous. So I'm definitely not going to be doing that. Some of you guys might call me lame, but this is my daily driver. Spent a lot of money on this car, so I am not going to risk getting in any trouble or potentially getting in an accident today. But we're stuck at this light now, so let's hopefully get this thing to change to green soon, and then we'll get up on the highway. I'm not sure if this light is ever going to go green. It's kind of taking a minute. Okay, there we go. It is a green light now. All we got to do is get past this light, get down to the lane to get onto the highway, and then we will hopefully be able to give it some speed. The speed limit right here is about 50 miles per hour. So again, I'm not going to do anything crazy, not going to break it, but I am giving it a little bit of gas here, and it does do just fine as long as you kind of just ease into the gas. If you floor it, especially coming out of a turn or you're trying to turn in somewhere, for example, you will easily lose traction in the rain. But the technology in this car actually does a really good job of helping you instantly regain traction even if you do lose it, especially when you have the traction control on and you're in slippery driving mode and the roads are a little bit wet. So it really gave me a lot of peace of mind when I first got this car, and I noticed that it had all those different driving modes, and it really helps you from causing any problems or risking anything in your car. I used to drive, my first car actually was a Ford F-150. It was a 2007 with the 5.4 liter Triton V8, and that thing had no traction control or anything, so you easily lost traction and easily lost control, especially in conditions like this in that truck. But in this car, with all the technology and all of the safety features, it's not really so much of a problem anymore. And me personally, I'm really happy that Ford has kind of introduced a lot more technology and safety features, especially into a car like this, because this thing is still putting out 315 horsepower, so it's still got quite a bit of power to it. And because it's got a little bit lighter of an engine, it's not as heavy of a car as the normal V8 Mustang would feel. But let's go ahead and get on this highway, give it a little bit of speed. Gonna speed it up just a little bit right here, but again, not gonna go too crazy. You guys can see people in my city, if it rains at all, they drive super slow, so I'll just have to do the best I can with people on the road. You guys get these people in the left lane that like to go slow, and you guys haven't even seen it where I live at. If it snows, God forbid, people go extremely slow if there's even anybody on the road at all, and most of the time the entire city will just close down if there's any level of snow. And if it's really rainy like it is today, the traffic is a little bit lighter than it normally is. Like at this time there would usually be a lot more traffic on the weekend, but the reason it's not super crazy right now is because all of the rain. So giving it a little bit of gas, again, not going to be breaking the speed limit or anything here today, but you guys can see that there hasn't really been any type of a problem. I haven't lost traction, I haven't lost control, and really I still feel quite safe. Don't really have to worry about it too much. Obviously, if I really go crazy and kind of slow down a little bit here, which I'm not going to do, and then gas it, I'll lose traction for a little bit, but again, with all the technology, I regain it pretty fast. And the speed limit here is actually a little bit slow because they're doing a lot of construction in this particular area. So the speed limit is not very high right now. And even if it was, I wouldn't be trying to go super fast because again, I'm just a little paranoid and I do not want to risk my life or wreck my daily driver here. So again, not going to be going super crazy, but as you guys can see so far, the performance, it's doing a really good job. I'm not really having to worry about it too much. And with this being a rear wheel drive car, again, I was a little bit concerned that it could be a problem, especially in conditions like this, but I really haven't noticed any big issues. Again, if I drive like a complete psychopath and just turn really fast and floor it, yes, I'm gonna lose traction here, but I'm not gonna do that, especially since I'm just going straight on the highway. And honestly, it's really quite a beautiful day, kind of always sunny in my area of the United States where I'm at, so it's kind of nice to get a little bit of cloudy and rainy conditions just to get a little bit of a break from the sun. At this point, we are getting closer to the fall, so hopefully it will be getting a little bit chillier soon because it has been extremely hot lately in my area. So hopefully a few more weeks and the weather will start to cool down a little bit and I'll be able to roll the windows down, kind of film some more videos for you guys where I'm sitting in my car just talking about the Mustang and workouts and stuff that I'm going to be doing headed into the fall and the winter. I am going to be making a completely new series on probably just working out and trying to put on some muscle, because usually going into the fall and winter months I like to try and put on a little bit of muscle. So I already completed the Leaner by the Day series earlier for you guys this year where I lost a bunch of weight and got in much better shape. You guys can check out that series up top right now or down below in the description if you want to check it out. Really just been doing the Mustang videos, some vlogs, going on vacation, and some workout and diet videos for you guys. So kind of check out some of the different varieties of stuff that I have. You guys might be interested in it. But here we are. See, not a whole lot of traffic still, and you guys can see really absolutely no problems. I'm obviously up to speed at this point and I'm not worried about it. I'm not nervous. I haven't even lost traction at all, but keep in mind I'm being careful about it. I'm not going to drive a little bit harder like I usually would if the roads weren't this wet. I'd definitely be giving it a little bit more gas, turning out a little faster, maybe putting it in sport mode, maybe track mode, playing around a little bit more if it wasn't so wet and rainy out. And here we should be getting to a big bridge that they just completed in my area, which is really cool. It really has a nice scenic view that I want to show you guys today. So once we get up there, I'll kind of talk about it a little bit, give it a little bit of speed, because I will be going uphill at that point, and I just want to test out the traction control a little bit. So what I'll do is probably slow down a little bit once I get up to that bridge, and then give it a little bit more gas as I'm coming up on the bridge. And you got to be careful with these people in the rain. Even if it wasn't raining, I mean, these people drive a little bit crazy, so I'm still going to be a little careful. People like to shoot across the highway multiple lanes really fast if you're not careful. So again, just being a little paranoid because I spent so much on this car and it's so new. My old Mitsubishi Outlander, I wasn't even worried about it at all. I was just like, whatever, it's gonna be fine. Rock chips, I don't even notice them or whatever. But in this car, I'm a little bit more worried about it because I spent so much more money on it. Alright, so here we are. We're coming up to the bridge. Coming up to the bridge. Alright, so now we're at the bridge that I was talking about, and it looks like on the left side over here we got a fellow Mustang driver coming up. This guy is driving a Mustang, obviously with a little bit more power than me. Not exactly sure what model that is, what year that is. You guys let me know what you guys think down below in the comments, what year you think that Mustang was. Looks like probably something between 2015, 2020, I would say, but I absolutely love the view driving on this bridge, guys. It looks so beautiful right now in the rain. Literally cannot beat the view of this new bridge in my city where I'm at. It just looks so amazing out here right now. It's so peaceful driving on this bridge in a little bit of wet and rainy conditions, and it's nice that it's not super crowded, even though I'm getting these slow pokes in front of me like this guy right now. What is this guy driving? Some kind of mom van or something, which is perfectly okay. I get everybody's trying to drive a little bit slower, but in my Mustang, I've noticed that it just feels like everybody drives really, really slow. Like coming from my Mitsubishi Outlander into my Mustang, it just feels like everybody around me is driving slow, even though most of the time, to be quite honest, they're not really driving that slow. It's just the profile and being lower down to the ground. Driving around in a sports car just feels like everybody's going a little bit slower than they used to be going, even though it's probably just in my own head. But you guys can see pretty much nothing right here beats this view. I mean, I just absolutely love this view. It's something about just driving in my Mustang, giving it a little bit of gas up at a little bit higher speed in the rain. It's just so much fun. I literally cannot even describe how much I love driving along that new bridge, just to have a nice view of some of the buildings around me and the trees and some of the nature that you guys can see from up there. And even here it's pretty nice, to be quite honest. And they're gonna start building up more stuff as we talk about it and as we go forward into the future. So a lot of these trees are gonna end up just not being there super soon. So it's nice to kind of be able to check it out and see all this area before it's developed even further than it already is. You guys can see it's like a total construction zone through here. So I'm not going to try and go super fast, but I'm going to go ahead and merge onto the interstate. Just drive down the interstate a little bit for you guys so you guys can kind of see how this thing performs in the rain. Just going to keep it at a constant rate, and obviously not really going to lose control, just going at a constant rate up to the interstate like I'm doing here. A lot of the issues happen when you really try and gas it or you come out of a turn like I talked about. So really no problems that I've noticed once you're already at speed. It's really, again, just when you turn, when you try and give it too much gas or something. But since I'm in slippery mode, it will kind of prevent you from being able to gas it so much to where you'll end up losing traction. The computer does a really good job of just preventing you from causing any big problems or running into any potential issues at all. Alright guys, so I'm going to go ahead and get off the interstate here, and I'm going to make a little bit of a pit stop because I want some coffee. I'm actually heading out to hit a workout today, but unfortunately the gym that I've been working out at doesn't want me recording there. So once I do start the Bigger by the Day series, I'm going to be working out in my home gym a lot more, so I can record those workouts, I should say, a lot easier for you guys. But as you can see, they got the whole road walled off with these crazy concrete barriers and stuff. And here's the Ferrari dealership on my right. Someday I'll be over there, maybe, just maybe, buying a Ferrari. But for right now, perfectly happy with my Ecoboost Mustang. A lot of guys like to talk so much mess. Oh, the Ecoboost, it's slow, it's lame, it's not fast. Honestly, guys, I used to be one of those naysayers. I used to be one of those critics until I went out and I was like, I'm going to test drive this Ecoboost Mustang and see if it's the real deal or not. See if it's slow, see if it's lame. And when I test drove it, I was just not disappointed. I mean, it had a lot of power. It was comfortable. I really like the look of it. The feel of sitting on the inside of this car every day just got me kind of excited. Again, I've always kind of liked the Mustangs, always liked the design of them, but I was always a critic of the Ecoboost with the small turbocharged four-cylinder engine. I always thought it was kind of lame, kind of slow, but when I got behind the wheel of it for the first time, I was extremely impressed with how much power they're actually getting out of this little 2.3 liter turbocharged four-cylinder engine. I really didn't have a complaint about it, and a lot of guys are self-conscious out there about driving, you know, oh, 2.3 liter, you know, I need to have the 5.0 V8 and everything, and you know, that's cool if that's what you want, but just based on the price difference and everything and how much I could get in the EcoBoost Premium Mustang, I just really did not feel the need to upgrade to the GT. Again, I used to drive an F-150 pickup truck with a 5.4 liter V8. And again, I like the V8. I'm not saying anything bad about having a V8. I'm not saying anything bad about the GT Mustang. The GT Mustang is great, but the EcoBoost is also great. And I really didn't want to get something that was going to burn so much gas because, one, I don't want to be at the gas pump all the time. Two, even though I can afford it, that doesn't mean I want to spend extra money on gas just to say, look at me, I have a V8, when honestly nobody even cares. I just really did not feel the need to upgrade to the 5 liter V8. It almost feels weird to say, but me personally, I just test drove the EcoBoost and I was like, this is plenty fast enough. I mean, if you guys are still a skeptic of this car, I bet most of you guys probably haven't even test driven it. So just go out, go to a dealer, test drive one. Just test drive like I did. Start off with the base model, you know, give it some gas, play around with the modes, put it in normal, sport, slippery, track mode, and then come back here to this channel and tell me that it's not a cool car. Tell me that it's not fun, it doesn't have some speed to it, and it wouldn't be a good daily driver. I just didn't want to be forced into buying a daily driver again, because this car right here is personally my daily driver that had a V8 in it. I love driving the V8, but just having to drive the V8 every day and be at the gas pump a lot more, spend a lot more money on the car, a little more for insurance, I just wasn't super excited about it. So this was kind of a good compromise for me because I was still getting the sports car that I wanted, really that I always wanted, because I always wanted a Mustang, but without having the daily drive of V8 again, because I really just didn't want to have to get back into a V8, not at least right now. And again, a lot of you guys hear that and you think, oh, he's just talking smack about the V8 Mustang. And I'm not talking smack about the V8 Mustang at all. I'm just saying where I'm at right now in my life, I just didn't feel the need to spend more money to get the V8. Some of you guys in the comments, you know, of some of my videos are quite vicious about it too. It's like, oh, you can't afford it. And oh, yeah, I could afford it, but do I really want to take $10,000-$15,000 and instead of putting it in the stock market to invest, put it into a GT Mustang just to go around and say, oh, look at me, I have a 5 liter V8? No, it just, at the end of the day, it just wasn't worth it to me. To really get the car that I wanted to with the V8, you're talking $50,000 easy to get the premium GT model, and I was just not feeling $50,000. Too much money. I just didn't feel the need to go buy a $50,000 car. I mean, that's a lot of money, even if you're a rich dude or something, even if you're worth a couple $1,000,000. 50,000's still a pretty big chunk of money, so I wasn't feeling comfortable at $50,000. This car I already paid $36,000 for, so I was like, I think that is enough. I mean, I don't think I really need to spend more than about $40,000 to get a really nice and amazing car. And again, if you guys get the V8, I got no problem with it. Like, if that's what makes you happy, that's what you want, go ahead, get the V8. I don't care, right? But for me personally, I'm happy with the EcoBoost right here. I don't feel like I made a mistake not getting the V8. V8 again would be cool, be a little bit faster, but most of the time I'm not going to be racing it. I'm pretty much never going to be racing. I'm not a street racer. I'm not really going to take it to the track. This is just my daily driver, so I didn't want to just get a V8, spend so much extra money just to drive it 45 miles an hour, not on the highway, and then maybe 70, 75 on the highway most of the time. I was like, this doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, every once in a while, I'd put my foot down, maybe give it a little bit of gas, but most of the time, I was just going to be daily driving the car, so that's kind of why I decided not to buy the V8. You guys can see here, driving it down the road, driving it down the interstate the other way, headed towards the gym. Really no problem with the traction control, not running into any issues. And it looks like up here my exit is closed, so I'm probably going to end up having to go down a little bit further, taking an exit further down, then doing a U-turn coming back to the gym. Yeah, it's definitely closed, so I'm going to go down a little bit further, and then I'll get back to you guys once I'm a little bit closer to the gym. Alright, so I ended up having to go down a ways, take the turnaround, but I am now getting close to the gym, so I should be there in a few minutes. But as you guys can see, pretty much throughout this whole drive, I've had absolutely no problems with the traction control. Putting it in traction control, or I mean turning on the traction control, I should say, not turning it off, and then putting it in slippery driving mode. It's really safe. It's a lot safer, to be honest, than I thought it was going to be. I thought this car was going to be a little bit more dangerous, especially since I'm pushing, 315 horsepower stock to the back wheels. Obviously, if you modify, you get this car tuned, put a bigger turbo, maybe do some other upgrades to get a little more horsepower, it's not going to be as good, because keep in mind, all of the technology in this car is kind of engineered to work with how it is stock. So if you go out and do a bunch of crazy stuff, start pushing out 400 horsepower, I would say you need to be really, really careful if you start modifying the car, just to make sure that you don't mess anything up, obviously. But also, if it's wet and rainy conditions like this, just going to be a little bit more dangerous, because the car technology wasn't really engineered for 400 horsepower or greater, or however much horsepower you guys want to get out of your car. It was really designed, like the traction control and the slippery mode, to work with the stock horsepower. So if you do modify it, just keep that in mind. Don't think all of the technology is still going to work as good as it did when it was stock unmodified, because it just wasn't really engineered to be ready to take on more horsepower. So just be careful with that. You guys can get good guys that do tuning, that do upgrades and stuff, but just keep in mind, this car was engineered a specific way by Ford, and when you start messing with it, it can mess with the traction control, it can mess with the driving modes, and you guys can just mess up stuff and make it a lot more dangerous than it really needs to be. Me personally, I'm not really going to modify it at all, because I'm just happy with it as stock. It's full factory warranty right now, and I just do not want to mess up any of that, because I just don't really see the point, to be quite honest with you guys. But that's what you want to do, go for it. But you can see right now, stock in the rain, there's really no problem. Where it's really going to get dangerous is if you forget to change your driving mode to slippery, you put it in something like sport mode, you turn off the traction control, and you just drive like a complete maniac. So you still have to use your brain, you still have to use common sense a little bit, kind of be careful, but overall, I'm not super worried about it. I feel really safe driving this thing in the rain. Biggest concern, to be honest, wouldn't even be losing traction, but it'd be just driving through really big puddles, because this thing is pretty low to the ground, and I don't really want to worry it. But I'm going to go ahead and park. Going to go ahead and hop into the gym. If you guys have any questions or concerns about this car, do not hesitate to go down into the comments and let me know. I will make sure to respond to you guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon in another video.